Okay, so our next guest, we've got some interesting guests we're gonna speak shortly, and I suppose in life there's many life-changing events that can happen that can alter our perspective on life, and our next guests are going to give an insight well, my understanding is Marianna Demetriades is going to give us an insight into her survived a heart attack and it changed her life. And Alex Clark, nutritionist, is going to give insights into what we can do to help us be better in shape, really. So on the show, Alex and Marianna, great to have you on board. Can we start, Marianna? Give us an insight in terms of like what happened. Am I correct in saying that you had a heart attack or a heart issue?
So basically, when I turned 40, I had an invite to my GP for a health checkup. And when I went there, I thought he would tell me that I'm overweight, but I didn't expect what he did tell me. He basically said that I was a heart attack waiting to happen. I was in danger of developing high cholesterol, diabetes, thyroid, and it really scared me. I just remember leaving the surgery completely frightened, sitting in the car crying because I have a family at home. I have children, my husband, and it really shocked me. And this was the wake-up call that I needed. And that's when I took the steps to join Slimming World.
Yeah, I can imagine it would have been, like really, really, maybe, borderline traumatic, really, to sort of hear that. And did it sort of kickstart you into sort of changing your lifestyle?
Oh, absolutely. I got in touch with a local Slimming World consultant, and she made me feel at ease straight away on the phone. She welcomed me into her group right from the minute I walked in. And from there, I learned about myself with the community, with the friendships that I'd made in there. I discovered that I was an emotional eater. My consultant helped me. She asked me questions in such a wonderful way that I was able to discover things about myself, and realizing that being an emotional eater, whether I was happy or sad, I would choose high fat, high sugar foods. And then as time went on, the weight had creeped on, and discovering how to navigate that and learning how to deal with my emotions. I learned about new healthy habits. I learned about cooking in different ways, but still having the foods that I love, never going without foods. I discovered physical activity through the Body Magic program. I discovered going for walks. I discovered coming out of my comfort zone and visiting a gym. And it just opened my eyes to so many different things. And now I live such a better life for that.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you definitely sort of were proactive and took action. And I've got a question for you, Alex. You're a registered nutritionist. I'm just about to go for lunch after speaking to you now. Having spoken to Marianna there, I'm sort of considering my choices for lunch now. But there's so much information out there. It really is a minefield. And, I like to think I eat relatively well to a certain degree, but then just when I think I'm making progress, I'll see something on the internet, and there's so much information out there, Alex, as I'm sure you're aware. But can you give us an insight? I know it's not going to be for everybody. People might have different nutritional needs for whatever reason, but can you give us the basics, Alex? What can we do in terms of what's your top tips that can be useful?
Absolutely, yeah, and like you say, it's such a minefield out there. There's information coming from every angle. So yeah, not surprising there can be a lot of confusion, but it does come down to, a healthy, balanced diet to support your heart health, to support you with losing weight or managing your weight, and just, yeah, looking after you overall. So in particular for everyone, but especially for heart health, things like limiting your salt, fat, and sugar intake. So, eating too much salt can increase the risk of high blood pressure. which in turn is a risk factor for heart disease. So we can do things though like cooking from scratch, so swapping out some of the salt for herbs and spices to add flavour instead, and checking salt levels on labels. If you go to pick something for your lunch, check the label, and there's often the traffic light system. Adults are recommended to have no more than 6 grams of salt a day, which is only about a teaspoon, so it can add up quite quickly. Fat is also fat intake is also a really key thing to be aware of in general, and especially for heart health. So high intakes of saturated fat, so that's the fat you find in fatty meats, cakes, biscuits, pastries. This can lead to high cholesterol levels and also weight gain. So we do want to be aiming to reduce intakes of those sorts of foods, while also, getting in those healthy fats is important. So we're thinking of like omega-3 fats, which can be found in oily fish like salmon and mackerel, or nuts and seeds like walnuts and linseed. So that can be really beneficial for your heart health and your general well-being too. And actually a nutrient that, and we hear a lot about in terms of digestive health, but fiber is also really great for weight management as well. It's really satisfying for our appetite, so we can fill up, so not feel hungry, satisfy our appetite, and then overall make healthier choices. And actually some fiber containing foods are particularly good for our cholesterol levels, so things like oats, beans, peas, and lentils, and these are all quite accessible ingredients as well that you can incorporate. Have oats for your breakfast, things like that. So yeah, but I think it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the information that's out there. But actually going back to basics with plenty of fruit and veg, fiber-rich starchy carbs, and some of those healthy fats should give you a really good balance.
Yeah, no, that sounds really, really good, Alex. Some good information there. And I must admit, certainly on my journey, I've made changes. I've cut sugar out of coffee. I've kept that going now for a few months, and I've also started to eat more fish, like salmon and other fish as well. To be fair, so I've included things as well, and like you said, they're the fibre as well. And I have, to be fair, noticed the difference as well. And I have been able to sort of maintain, a weight that I'm happy with. But I mean, Marianna's point there was an interesting one, really. I find for me, I still take time to have foods I enjoy. I think if I had to sort of follow a really strict diet all the time, Alex, I probably wouldn't. I'd sort of, I don't think I could maintain it. I've got to be realistic, and at times I'll have some fish and chips on the weekend and go for a meal. And I've just adopted a more sensible approach. And it seems to me, what's your sort of take on that? As long as it's sort of done within reason, unless there's a good reason for not having certain types of foods. What's your take on sort of a sensible approach rather than a really rigid approach that's hard to sustain?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to give up your favorite foods, and that's what we're all about at Slim Wood as well. Most members are foodies. They love food, and we love socializing around food as well, don't we? That's human nature, really. So no, it's about eating food you enjoy, still doing all the things you love with the people you love, but getting that balance right. So if you're eating predominantly home cooked foods, focusing on all those great foods you mentioned, the salmon, things like that, there is absolutely nothing wrong with going for fish and chips at the weekend, and enjoying that with your family, because food is nutrition, food is fuel, and it's so important from that aspect. But it is it's so social, it's so emotional, like Marianna mentioned about the emotional eating as well. It's okay to eat when you're happy, and you want to celebrate, and it's okay to eat when you're sad and need that comfort as well. And I guess it's just about how often you're doing that and what choices you're making when you do that. You can make healthier versions of your favorite comfort foods. For instance, if you love a pasta bake, you can do that in a healthy way with plenty of protein in there, plenty of fruit and veg and things like that to fill you up while supporting your weight as well. So absolutely, if I told you to restrict everything, you would instantly want to rebel. So no foods are banned with Slim Woods eating plan, which is just the beauty of it, really.
No, absolutely. So it's pizza pasta for me on Saturday now, Alex, and on Sunday I'll go for fish and chips now. So, but I'll make sure that my choice for lunch today and dinner as well is going to be salad, grains. I'll probably throw in a few cashews as well, and avocado. But like on a serious note, I think with me, like speaking to sort of Marianna there, what sort of dawned on me there is the having social support for you is a big thing. And is that fair to say, Marianna, if in a group where you got people who've got the same goal, and that support can help a long way? If you do it on your own, it's not always easy on your own, I don't think, these things.
Oh, do you know, absolutely, Jimmy. I totally agree with you. Having a community, actually a family that understands what you're going through. It's very easy for people to see you with a weight problem and say to you, well, just stop eating. It's not that straightforward. When you have the emotional baggage, the emotional eating that I have, it's not straightforward. But going to a community, going to a Slim and Well family who understands that and helps you and supports you, is there to give you the biggest cheer when we're celebrating, and also the biggest cuddle to say, you know what, it's okay, you've got this. You need that. You need to have that support network around you. And I will be forever grateful to my group. I know that I couldn't do this on my own. I needed that support.
Yeah, and absolutely. And it's really interesting because, like, there's one thing, obviously, the sort of health risks, which sort of Alex sort of alluded to, with certain, foods as well, and lifestyle. But there's also the well-being side of things too. That's obviously more difficult to sort of quantify. But what price do you put on sort of feeling better? I know when I'm sort of like working towards getting in shape, just life's a better place to be, Marianna. You go out for a walk, you just feel better about yourself, and you sort of get the same buzz as well, where you just feel better within yourself.
Oh, do you know what? In every aspect, in every aspect of my life, I feel like I can tackle anything now, and I tackle it with such a different mindset because I feel better in myself, because I have the confidence now. When you don't have the confidence, it really holds you back. It holds you back from being able to do sometimes even the smallest of things. But when you've got that confidence, and there's a confidence that I have now, I feel that I can be successful at anything. And it is down to the way that Slimming World has supported me by losing the weight. But I gained more than losing weight. I gained a life. I gained my confidence. And that's opened the doors to so much for me now. And I'd be forever grateful to Slimming World for that.
Absolutely. And I'm sure there's listeners out there sort of listening in thinking, okay, they might give Slimming World or something along them lines a go type thing, but maybe they're just nervous to go in and take that first step. I'm guessing for some people it can be sort of daunting to sort of walk in. And what would you say, Marianna, to anyone sort of thinking, okay, I'm a little bit nervous to sort of go in and take that first step?
Do you know, I want to tell them that I was that person. I was that person who was nervous to take that first step. But you know what? I am so glad that I did it. So if there's anyone out there at the moment who is thinking about losing weight, but is feeling nervous to take that first step, I can tell you that when you go into any Slimming World group, you are going to be filled with the support and love. You will have a program that's going to fit around your lifestyle. You'll have a consultant that will be there to guide you and support you. And I know, because I've lived it, it will change your life. It will change your life to become healthier, become happier. And like I like to say, I used to be a cocoon that was closed and shut off, but now I'm that butterfly that's able to flourish again and fly away and fly to bigger things. So if anyone's out there, go be that butterfly.
Absolutely. That's a good metaphor, to be fair. Absolutely. I think it's great to sort of hear your successful journey, and long may it continue, Marianna. It's always good to hear, good news. And thanks for joining us, Alex. It's really interesting and informative, and Marianna for showing your inspirational journey. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you
Very much.